Right, real quick answer for all you guys that are too lazy to watch the rest of the video and really learn something. That there is the part number for the early single wire 3UZ knock sensor. It fits those cars there. That is the part number for the 3UZ 6-speed 2-wire knock sensor. And it fits all of these cars. Oh, come on. I was trying to go fast. And then some, because that's the first 100 results. For you guys that actually want to learn something and learn how to find these part numbers for yourself, then watch the rest of the video. Okay guys, it's Galvin, the Coaching Company New Zealand. This morning, the old Facebook questions. And this one was really interesting because there's probably not enough room to accurately give all the information out. And well, in a short post on Facebook. And the question that was asked, will a 2JZ knock sensor fit / work on a 3UZ? Now, as with many questions that are asked on the internet, there's actually not enough information in the question. Let's go through some of the responses just based on the question itself. And then we're going to go through using this website and we're going to show you and get the correct information and try and get as much of the right information as we can. And I'll back it up using this particular website, which has got good information on part numbers and parts on it. And then I'll add my own little information out of my own head. Right. One answer here. Pretty sure RAV4s use the same ones. Yep, are probably correct actually. And if I just go here, I happen to have a list of, there's one of the UZ or the 3UZ knock sensors numbers, and if I scroll down, there's RAV4 on the list. But what the answer here doesn't state is which RAV4s. There's more than one RAV4. There's lots of RAV4s. And so it doesn't really help as far as a detailed answer. It sort of gives enough to go, well, maybe RAV4s fit, and then go down the rabbit hole of that. And I see cheap copies of RAV4 sensors and looms that are suggested that they fit the UZs. The looms are nothing close. Okay, so watch out for that. And then they have another reply. Just we got 2, they got 1. Okay, right, moving down, there were some comments with regard to the guy's air intake. We're not really interested in that. Now, this is a really good answer, but again, without all the information. OEM knock sensors are a narrowband frequency response, which is 100% correct. Their frequency response is based on the cylinder bore. If that bore were, if that bore, I think it's meant to be of your UZ, is the same size, theoretically it will work. But 2JZ knock sensors are pretty wank. If you're on a standalone ECU, then I went Bosch part number 0261231.046. Probably a good choice. I've got another video on knock sensors with aftermarket ECUs. I think I use a 188 on the last part number. If you're stock ECU, then you'll need a 3UZ one. Now again, that raises the question of which 3UZ one. Okay, more one. And the author did thank that person, which it's still a pretty good answer, but we still didn't really get all the information. I'm not sure about my answer, but my answer is no. Excuse me. I actually think that's correct. I think the answer is no, but there's a smart ass, which is me. It's like all 2JZs are the same, and all 3UZs run the same sensors. My kind of seeing if the person picks up that without specific information, then you're not going to get a good answer. and a lot of the internet is poor answers, poor questions, hence poor answers. Okay. And then someone says, I have some offer 2UZ. I don't know if these will work for you. So let's get in and sort some of this information out. On the screen right now, what you've been looking at is some of the vehicle models that fit one of the UZ NOx sensors. And there is the part number. And then there's this one. There's another NOx sensor, NOx control, and there's these vehicles, and 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 these vehicles, these vehicles. Now we're getting the point, and it says only the first 100 results are shown. All of those take the same sensor as a 3UZ, but not all models of 3UZ. Let's get in and have a look so you can find the right sensor for your car. Now this particular website, I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to go to vehicle identification for a start. I run a Japanese LS430. It is a 2001, and it is a Lexus. It's not a Celsior, that one. I've also got a Celsior. That sucks. Maybe mine's a UK spec. I normally just tap in the number. Other general spec, 2001 Lexus LS430, UCF30. Submodels. Mine's a right-hand drive AEA GKW. There it is there. That's mine right there. Mine's actually an import. Mine's not a Kiwi car. I thought it was, but at some point it was an import. And then it's got these headings here, and I'm going to click into the electrical, and we've got these headings here, and this isn't really that helpful if you're actually trying to find the information. And one of the tricks with this website is you do need an invite. Okay, I'm not going to mention the name of the site because one of the stipulations is you don't mention the name and the term invite. If you need an invite, find me, put a message down in the comments. I've only got like 9 left, so there, I'm getting a bit low, but I've got other mates. If I flick the login email that you use, you can probably message me, find me on Facebook, find my company on Facebook, flick me a message. I will get you invites, or endeavour to, as much as I can. Okay. So if I push the sign and watch what happens. Yep, that's me. And suddenly we've got pictures. That makes a huge difference for finding what we want to find. Okay, I'm going to scroll down, and it isn't going to be under electronic fuel injection. It doesn't actually show the NOx sensor. It shows the water temp sensor, the ECU. It is going to be under switch and relays because it's a switch relay and computer. And there's 7 diagrams, but it comes up with the first one. We've got a picture here of the engine, and we scroll over it, and NOx sensor. Sensor NOx control, there it is there. So this is the single wire NOx sensor for an LS430 and Celsius. So 89615300080. I've then taken that, and I've copied that, and I've slammed it into there. And so this is the correct list using the part number of other vehicles that NOx sensor fits. And there's our RAV4. Look, here's a Crown Majesta, and it says there's a possible JZS 1.5, but when we actually click on the blue there, it'll bring up the exact models. You'll see these are both 1Gs. And down here there was another one. Oh, this is a 1G. That Crown Comfort's a 1G. So no JZs are listed in that one. I did the same thing with the later model car. So my car happens to be a 5-speed, and they run the single wire knock sensors. And then the later 6 speeds run a 2-wire, 2-pin knock sensor. Hence the difference. And what Toyota did is they've used that in a lot of other vehicles. That is the correct part number there. So 89615, which is the same for a lot of the sensors Toyota used that same preface. And then the part number 20090. Right down to Yaris's and Vitz's, and it will come up in there somewhere that it does fit an LS430, but of course it's way down that list because they standardize the sensors, making it much easier and much more available for parts. I can probably, let's just grab this, just give me a moment. Let's do the old Google search, find the first part number and see if we can get an image of it. There's the Google search, and there we start having a lot of sensors. A lot. Okay. Now, I would avoid any aftermarket sensors. I only fit genuine sensors. Okay. So, no, $46. I wouldn't touch them. RAV4. See, there's that RAV4 coming in, but that's the right part number. Nah, probably wouldn't touch it. Probably wouldn't touch them. Probably wouldn't touch them. If it does state that it is a genuine one, but again, this is a $60 sensor, there's a $188 sensor. Probably something to be avoided, the $60 sensor. And we see this, I see this a lot where people fit these cheap sensors and they bring the car into me and says, I've just had sensors, and they're not the right ones. Lexus parts now, yep, I use them a lot. They're good, and you'll see the price there at $145. So I'd recommend getting into some of the online dealers and find the genuine Toyota dealers, and they generally, and then just shop around for someone who's going to give good shipping and good service. And once I find one that I like, I tend to just stick with them. If they're within a few dollars, I'm happy enough. But if the genuine one is $145 and this one is $6, yeah, there's your quality issues that you have, and that's why they have a lot of issues with guys fitting aftermarket ones. Not to say that not all aftermarket ones are crap, but it's hard to know based on the price, and a lot of people don't want to lift the intake manifold off to find out that they're not right. Also, I do the knock sensor connectors as well. Okay, that's, I think, is really important. A lot of guys talk about the wiring looms to the knock sensors. We can check that if we go back into oh, there we go. We go back into here. We can probably find the knock harness in the wiring looms. It's going to be under electrical. Now, there are some different harnesses, guys. Again, ask what's the part number of the knock sensor harness? Well, is it a 5-speed? Is it a 6-speed? Is it a left-hand drive or a right-hand drive? Because they changed the position of the battery, and the battery lead is part of the knock sensor harness. Okay, so that's going to change. So ask good questions, and you'll get better answers. Just give me a moment. I'm going to look through the wiring and clamp, and we're going to find the part number for the harness for my vehicle. Righto, it's on the second page of the wiring and clamp. Here is the main engine harness, and there is engine wire harness number 2, which comes into the knock sensors. Not really the best picture, and they can be a little bit hard to find, but it does allow us to find those part numbers. I actually did a little bit of a Google search too, just to see what would come up and show you. If I've got it here. Oh no, I used the Google search with the part number, but if I did this and I searched for knock sensor part number, harness part number, and it brings up these images, okay? And unfortunately, it doesn't have a good image of the LS430 knock sensor harness, the real one. Those are a little bit elusive, so I'll have to do another video on that and show that harness. I've done it on a 400s, I'll do it on a 430 as well. But guys, it doesn't look like this. Piss off. That is not an LS430 knock sensor harness, okay? Don't buy that crap. The connectors are right, but you might as well just buy the correct connectors, okay? Right, we're going to go back to the 2-wire. So this is the 2-wire knock sensor. Again, we're going to grab the part number and we're going to try and get an image of it. There we have, there's the part number, there's the images, and we suffer the same fate of all these cheap, crappy aftermarket sensors. Okay, I only fit genuines. Okay, only fit genuines, because I'm not going to do that job twice. All the price differences. That one's possible. That one should be. So here's an Amazon one for $190. Here's one from Toyota Parts Deal for $137. That's in US dollars. That's reasonable. That's getting up there. So it does pay to shop around. 145 Lexus parts now. We're going to know that it's going to be genuine, and you're going to have to do that job once. Okay, it makes a big difference. All right, a few notes. Early LS400 knock sensors. Now, I run the same sensor in all of them. They cross over perfectly, okay? They run on the same frequency. I've got in and I've tested them, and I've checked that output of them and done all the testing, and I've swapped the really good ones have a little round plug in them. And I've put the next squarer shape plug, the same as the LS430 single wire. I've used those, I've interchanged those sensors fine, and all through the range, right up to the 1UZ VVTi. And then Toyota did a big part number change for the LS430s. Can a 1UZ non-VVTi or a VVTi sensor be used in a 3UZ? Right now, I suspect they do, but I haven't tested it. Okay, I have not tested that theory. And I haven't reverse engineered the 3UZ one into the early ones yet. It's coming, and I'm going to give it a try. Okay, I will be giving that a try to see if that does work. And if it does or doesn't, I will update and I will let you know. The later model 6-speed one with the 2 wires that we're looking at here, there is so many available, so many cars it fits. So we're seeing those come through. I haven't had one of those fail yet. I haven't seen a knock sensor fail in a it's an 04 to 06. Technically, we get them in 03. 6-speed LS430 yet, but it'll come. We've been doing lots and lots of them and just haven't had sensor fail. Again, I've got the connectors. They're the same connector as the later model Toyota injectors. Fit the knock sensors there. The connector on the back of the loom, the back of the harness, the starter. Knock sensor harness has got a bigger plug, but I'll do that for another video. Now, thanks for watching. Part of this isn't to hammer guys on the internet for asking dumb questions. It's to try and help people ask better questions and become more informed. I'm a big believer of teaching. Just wait, I'll just get that phone. Alright guys, going back to where I was. I'm a big believer of teaching a man to fish rather than giving the man a fish. So I think we should ask better questions. So ask better questions and we'll get better answers on the internet. And another thing I'm a big fan of is going back and updating your posts. If someone has given you some help or you've asked the question, have the respect and give them an update on what you found with your car. It means that we won't have threads that go nowhere and we'll have better information on the internet. It'll do me out of a job too. I'm okay with that because I want good information for these engines out there. So I hope that's been helpful, and use that to our DIY, and we'll talk to you again soon. Catch you later.